Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for the ones that could attend to today's class related to digital storytelling. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, yes, we hear
Yes.
you very well.
Okay, this is great. Thank you, Armel. Although there is not many of us today, so maybe this is going to be more like a theoretical lesson. Of course,
Yes.
for the students that we will see the recordings, we will have, like a general overview of what we have already been doing. And of course, we will push our contents related to digital storytelling and video production. What I would like to do today, especially because of the fact that, there is just like 4 of you, I'm going to kind of push in terms of theoretical practice. And as soon as the group will be more numerous, okay, as soon as we will be many more in the class, I would like to start to work at your project, your personal project. So maybe also we can decide over the chat when to start. But apart from this theoretical introduction, I really would like to start working directly at your ideas so that when you will be having the hackathons in presence, you will be ready in terms of video production, okay? So this is the criteria. I'm going to share my screen. And just to, let's say, remember what we have been doing up until now, I would like to thank you about, your participation during our previous class. I guess, the process of sharing images via WhatsApp, it is working because it is, like a model that it is accessible to everyone. So as much as I can, I will try to present you with practical activities that will, will be based on the use of WhatsApp, okay? So what we have been doing last time, we have been discussing about how to frame a picture, and according to the movement of the camera that I can apply in terms of rotation, but also in terms of being close or far away from a specific subject, I can convey a different type of message, okay? So this is just, like a reminder. It is a beautiful way also for me to get in contact with you and to understand what is your context, your faces, your expressions, and so on and so on. So we had a very brief, well, not so brief. I mean, we have like a first touch of what it means to produce a portrait and what it means to produce a very closed up portrait of a person, of course, but also of objects, okay? And we kind of applied an analysis on how the composition of an image can stimulate different feelings to the viewer. Okay, so let's have a look to these beautiful pictures that you did produce. And this is also a reminder that, all the speculations that we do have in terms of still images, so photograph, yeah, can be applied also to moving images, so video, okay? So at first we were discussing about how to take a portrait, and then what about the landscape and what it means to create a balanced picture. And also to remember the rule of the third, which tells us that naturally speaking, our eye tends to go and look at the third part of the picture. And if you want to actually, attract the viewer to a specific content, these are the areas in which, in terms of gestalt, in terms of the action of the eye, these are the most important points, more or less. It doesn't have to be massively precise, okay? So rule of the thirds, we can divide the image in 3 slices, both horizontally and vertically. And these are the points in which my interest as a viewer are going to be unconsciously falling down, okay? So yeah, beautiful landscape, gardens, and yeah, again, it is a very nice way to start to create like a general visual imaginary, which is composed by all the images that we do bear in mind and that we have around us in terms of a group, okay? Okay, so for this part of the class, I'm going to show you some video production, okay? In a very simple and basic way. You have very diverse projects, but at the same time, the project that you are working on, they do touch similar matters, similar contents. And according to the idea that you have and that you will want to present in terms of a visual production, you will have to make a decision. So in order to convey my idea, in order to produce a narrative product related to my idea, what type of communication should I activate? Okay, so is it a good idea to work as an advert? Okay, do I want to advert my project visually? Do I want to tell the story of my project? So maybe I want to include interviews. Do I want to design a fictional story that would convey the contents of my idea? And all these choices are, as I was mentioning before, mainly concerned with the type of message, with the type of stimuli that you want to generate in your viewer, okay? So there are some stimuli that can be more, speculative, emotional, and related to the kind of involvement, personal involvement that you want to have with your viewer. And some other might be like much more rational. Am I trying to raise some money? Do I have to give some specific information related to my project? And according to all these answers, you will choose a style, let's say. It is also possible, of course, to combine some styles, but at first we are going to think about things a bit separately. So there is the interview, there is the documentary, there is the advert, the spot, the advert promo, and so on, so that we can really understand what about it. And then, of course, we can play around with it, okay? And I'm going to start from also like a concept. If you remember, like we were looking at this video, the birth, the life, and the death of a soldier, okay? I think that I have been mentioning this before, but another idea that I would like to stress out, which is very important for me, is that once you have a clear idea of your message and who is your target, to whom you are talking to, then you don't need to have super high equipment, or you don't have to be like super skilled in terms of experience in producing a video. You can find solutions like very, very simple ones, like, for example, just the use of a hand with a colored background, okay? So we were talking a lot on how, in fact, we are kind of, stimulated with images since a very early stage. Hello, welcome. Welcome. I'm going to mute you, but sorry, maybe you were talking. Sorry, I thought these were noises. But please unmute yourself if you want to say hello or any other things. Sorry, my finger was faster than my mind. Okay, maybe not. Anyways, so yes, we can kind of find very easy solutions, okay? We don't have to have like a huge amount of money. We don't have to have huge amount of equipment. We just need to focus on the idea, the message, and the listener, okay? So again, to whom we are talking to. And we were saying that from a very early stage in our life, we are invested with visual stimulation, with visual stimuli. And often, you know, in terms of video production, what it is, you know, one of the first elements that, at least here in Europe, we tend to get in contact with is music. So thanks to video production, to video musical production, we can have, you know, like a first experience of what it means to have different types of styles and different types of, you know, choices. Okay, so I'm going just to start to look at this video. Actually, I need to verify. I'm going to stop my share and reshare again because I think I did not activate the sound. Okay. I'm going to activate it now. And we are going to start. Let me see. What about? Okay, let's start with this. Okay. So this is a music video. It is pretty old now. And the artist is called Oren Lavia, and the title is Her Morning Elegance. I'm going to show you this video to you because of the technique, okay, in which this video is produced. So basically, this video is, you know, the articulation of a series of pictures, one after the other, so many pictures shot one after the others, in order to produce a fluid movement. These are the basis of the stop motion techniques, which tells us that in order to produce 1 second of video, we need to have 24 still frames, okay? And from the combination of still images, we can anyways create a movement, okay? I don't know if you are familiar with the flip book, those children book that you can, with which you can really, you flip the pages very, very quickly. And then from all the different illustrations, you create a movement. The basic idea is that if I wanted to represent this movement, for example, of my hand like that, of course I can shoot a video of this movement, but I can also take so many different pictures. So pictures, picture, 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 and then I can combine one picture after the other in order to anyways convey the movement. But let's have a look at the video and then we can discuss. Can you hear the sound?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. So let's have fun. Okay.
Sun been down for days, a pretty flower in a vase. I slip her by the fireplace, a cello lying in its case. Soon she's down the stairs, her morning elegance. She wears the sound of water, makes her dream walking by a cloud of steam. She pours a daydream in a cup, a spoon of sugar sweetens up, and she fights for her life as she puts on a coat, and she fights for her life on the train. She looks at the rain as it pours, and she fights for her life as she goes in a store with the thought she has caught by a thread. She pays for the bread and she goes. Nobody knows. Sun been down for days, a winter melody. She plays the thunder, makes her contemplate. She hears a noise behind the gate, perhaps a letter stranger she could love. And she fights for her life as she puts on a coat. And she fights for her life on the train. She looks at the rain as it pours. And she fights for her life as she goes in the store with the thought she has caught by a thread. She pays for the bread as she goes. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Fights for her life as she puts on a coat. And she fights for her life on the train. She looks at the rain as it pours. And she fights for her life as she goes in a store where the people are pleasantly strange and counting her change as she goes. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a very hard to produce video. Okay, consider that the video is lasting, let me see, 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Okay. And can you imagine that for each second, you need to produce, you know, the couple, the artists that did produce this video, they needed to shoot 24 pictures per second. I don't have my calculator now in here, and I don't really have the mind now to, you know, to make it just with my mind. But can you imagine the number of pictures that, you know, this video required? Also, because of the fact that there is something about light, okay, this video was shot all in once. So they started and they finished just when the last picture was taken. And this took 1 full day and 1 full night, okay? Because if you remember, if we just saw it, there is the shadow of the window that it is included in the video, okay? So this required a lot of time. Also, something else that I wanted to, you know, share with you. I mean, this is a very cute video, well, at least personally. I'm going to, you know, just play it without sound. What it is interesting, of course, there is a clear idea. It is a love story, but at the same time, it is the narration of the life of this girl. And this girl is represented, her experiences are represented just by showing her on her bed. And so we can think about solution on producing stairs, windows, train, being underwater, and so on. So this is, you know, she is our main character, okay? And she's navigating life. And then another character comes. And at first, this character is represented with just the trousers. And then, of course, there is the guy that comes in. And sometimes he is there, sometimes he is not. She's living all the seasons, she's cold, she's feeling sometimes, you know, a bit overwhelmed by things. She gets the train. And can you see, everything is done just with sheets, socks, and 1 bed. And a lot of thinking, of course, okay? So this is also the other message that I would like to share with you. So if you need to, you know, include in your project, maybe landscapes or ideas that are not particularly accessible at a practical level, they are not easily implementable, You can also use the symbols, and you can find solutions in order to say, you know, my main character is diving underwater, but maybe I do not have the equipment to produce shooting underwater, but I can, you know, I can just use a bed and a series of socks that kind of are symbolizing little fishes, okay? So in here you can see maybe this could be, you know, also a bird, and so on and so on. So again, this is like very much to convey that creativity really helps, and sometimes to have some technical limit definitely helps, because you have to find solutions that are not so, you know, spontaneous. So now we can see her just, you know, swimming, and it is clear, the message, it is completely clear, she is swimming, and this is definitely a fish, okay? So this is the reason why I wanted to show you this video. Do you have any comments about that?
Only it is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot.
I like it too. And, you know, like when I found out about this video, I think I was maybe 27 or something. So, I mean, it's quite a long time ago now, but still it does work. Still, it's very, you know, cute, and it does convey the message. Thank you, Barbara.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sì, tell me. Okay, so we can keep on going. I'm going to show you a completely other thing. Please consider that the chat I'm not reading. Oh, amazing, you say, really nice video. Okay, so Barbara is counting the number of photos. Yeah, this is a lot. This is like a very, very big number. Okay, let's keep on going, because the idea for this next half of an hour before our break is to just, you know, get stimulated. Also, one other thing that it is crucial, generally speaking, for so many different subjects. But when you do want to produce a video or pictures, or, you know, like a series of pictures, a body of work, especially if it is a visual one, the first suggestion would be to look at so many different things, different projects, different movies, different TikToks, any kind of visual media, but get stimulated and inspired, of course. And by all these stimuli, you will be able to take the decisions that you will have to in a much more spontaneous and easy way. And, you know, the basic of digital storytelling is to be aware that there are so many decisions to be made, but there is a system, that it is also quite rational and simple. So, yeah, it's nice to get completely overwhelmed by ideas, images, and then you can simplify. So let's stay in the music style, okay? Another very old song, very old song, but that kind of also present us with another completely different style of shooting a video. So this is no stop motion, okay? This is, you know, an actual shooting. We are following a character with the camera. Okay. A completely different type of choice, okay? And this is touching the technical part, of course, but also the narrative approach. So I was just taking notes about the song. You know, what about the message, okay? So we see a guy, okay, and he's just walking into the streets. So again, in terms of, you know, locations, scouting location, or in terms of, you know, cameras or other things, yeah, you just need a street and a person that is walking, okay? But why? What about the choice, you know, that the producer of this video, the maker, made? The choice is related to the message, again, of the song, okay? And also maybe to the style of the group, which is an indie group, which is called The Verb, okay? And also the title of the song, which is Bittersweet Symphony, okay? Just give me a second, I'm going to close the WhatsApp so that we will not be bothered with notification. Just a second. Okay, so and so I was saying it is about the message of the song itself. You know, the idea that you know, the video needs to convey in terms of what about the Verve, which is the band, and also about the title of the song. Okay. So I was mentioning before, I was taking notes, and in my opinion, but then of course everyone can have a different perception. What is the main message of the song and of this video is when he says, I feel free now, okay? And I am here. So basically, how to translate this message to a visual stimuli, okay? How do I convey this message by just using images, okay? And the answer is the guy is just walking. Everything is happening around him. He's like pushing people. A woman is shouting at him, but he doesn't really care. He's just looking at things. He's just looking straight. He's just walking and walking and walking. And it doesn't really matter what happens in his life because he is feeling free now and he is just simply walking, okay? What else? Of course, the idea of Bittersweet Symphony is the fact that, you know, things are happening to him in life, and sometimes they seem to be like sweet, sometimes a bit bitter in terms of, you know, he's, you know, pushing with people, he's engaging in a kind of critical way with people, but actually he's not engaging, okay? So this is why also this video is really helpful to understand that when you have a clear message, then you can find a very simple visual solution, okay? And again, you just need a street and someone that is following you with the camera, okay? And consider that, you know, there are so many different video productions and we could, you know, analyze so many of them. I'm going just to show you a last one, and then I'm going to discuss about, you know, the tools that can be helpful to start to work at the video. This is like a much more articulated video. Again, the idea is quite poignant, quite precise, but the realization, it is actually very hard. But, you know, just let's have a look. Okay, so this is a very complicated production. You need to be in control of so many different things. You need like a massive studio, you need props, you need that everything would be synchronized, okay? So this is not like an easy thing to do, but I wanted to, you know, finish this first part of the class with this technique, which in a way uses stop motion techniques also, okay? So we are starting to, you know, be aware about what about the stop motion, but for now, just with one video that we did share, we did see before, which is Her Morning Elegance, this one, okay? And again, this is very difficult to make, but just to make sure that we do understand what it is happening, the video is called The One Moment. So basically, everything was arranged before, and in the moment of the shooting of the video, the actual moment of the shooting lasted this long. So everything happened completely fast. And then they tell us what you just saw was real, and it took just 4.2 seconds to be shot, okay? And then the video would be slowed down. And personally, what it is amazing for me in this video, apart from the fact that he's very articulated, it has a lot of competence, technical competence, and so on, is, you know, the sound. So the idea of being able to organize something that would realize itself so quick, but then the correspondence with the sound is perfect. It is matching. So each explosion of color, it's, you know, representing a specific sound. And this is the flip book that I was mentioning before to you, okay? So many different pages flipped, but again, that would create a movement. But again, you know, can you see that his spelling is completely aligned with the audio, okay? So his mouth is moving and we can hear his words and they match perfectly. And again, you know, we start to know what about this video, so we know that each moment of color, each explosion is responding to a specific rhythm, okay? And again, this was structured in just 4.2 seconds, yeah? And then by slowing it down, it would match with the song, okay? So this is a video that we could study for, like, honestly, 6 months, I have to say. But it is also, I started with the idea of, you know, with sharing with you video production, also to convey another idea, which is the importance of sound, okay? Can you remember before in the video of the Verve, in which they, you know, they show us just a guy walking? Of course, there is a clear match, again here, maybe a more conceptual about the words that he is using in the song with what it is actually happening visually around him. But what it is very, very important, of course, these are music videos. So, you know, there is a strong degree of attention on how the audio, whether it's spoken, sang, or maybe just, you know, the rhythm, is aligning with what we do see. But at the same time, it is very, very important to be aware about the fact that audio, the sound, the music, the voices, the dialogues are very important into a video and are the ones that actually are involving, you know, the viewer in a much more emotional way, okay? Do you have any comments or questions?
My side, no.
Okay, thank you. And then there are so many other videos that I could share with you. But I would like to propose to you to have, you know, our break now, so that we can start back at 3:02, okay? A couple of minutes past 3 o'clock for us. But anyways, we were going to meet in 10 minutes. So that we can, by, you know, analyzing this video, start to talk about, you know, the roles of a visual production and you know, the tools that can be in support, okay?
Okay.
Okay, see you in 10 minutes then.
Perfect.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
See you. Okay, we are here again. We can start. Okay, so I was thinking that from now on, maybe I will share with you some videos, okay, different type of video that will help you to, you know, get some inspiration. But at the same time, maybe for next class, I'm going to ask you to share your favorite videos, music videos, okay? So we can start to again, collect visual imaginary that is coming out from this beautiful group. So maybe for our next class, think about a music video that you particularly like, not just for the sound, so not just for the music, but also why and how, because of, because of the visual content, okay? Not just the auditive one. Okay, so as I was saying before, in order to produce a video, there are so many different choices to be made. And these choices are, in a way, underlying different roles in the production, okay? So what I'm going to do now, it's just to present you a slide presentation, like a PowerPoint presentation that I will upload also on the Drive, that is defining the different roles. What I suggest you to do when you are going to start to your video production, maybe you are 5 people, 6 people, 7 people, maybe you are just 2 or 3. Like a good suggestion would be the one to identify who is going to do and why. Maybe because someone is more skilled on, imagination, or maybe someone is more technical, or someone is very organized. So you can identify the different roles. But of course, we are going to do that together. Okay, so let's start. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this presentation was produced for a project that is called CRAL, Creative Audiovisual Lab for the Promotion of Critical Thinking and Media Literacy. I will be presenting with other, contents related to this project because, I am sure they can be of help. And actually, I'm going to stop my sharing and I will reshare again the manifesto of this project that could be also inspiring for you. Yes, I'm going just to share it like that, and then like that. Can you see?
Yes.
The document that is open?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
CRAL
yes.
Manifesto. So generally speaking, this can be of help when you are navigating visual production. So it is a manifesto, yeah? So it's like kind of an inspirational one. So the first point says, keep your mind widely open, listen and observe. Get passionate about your project, okay? So you have an idea that is near to your heart. You are developing for the Seeds for Africa project, one idea that, has a lot of, objectives. And in terms of visual production, keep the passion really, really wide. And then think about the fact that reality is a prismatic matter. So the idea is not to linger over just one point of view. When you define your point of view, meaning what kind of message you want to convey and to whom you are talking to, then once you have structured this aspect, try to see the same aspect from another point of view. So maybe from another type of person, okay, from another professional perspective. And then have fun and laugh a lot. Consider that each of your single passions can help, even when they seem out of context. And this is really, really important because mainly when you work at a project, this is in terms of, more rational approach and, theoretical approach, but also when you need to produce something regarding this project, consider what you'd like to do, because if you are invested with something that you like, then it would be easier to proceed in a nice way. Then the process is more important than the outcome. Consider that these classes and the experience that you will be having during the hackathon, it is going to be very intense. And of course, there are going to be some elements that will satisfy you, and maybe some elements that you will say, yes, this video was nice, but I would like to have done it better or in a better way. Maybe if I could have had a better camera, or another location, I would be happier. But please consider that it is the experience itself that is very, very, very important. And then there is like a nice, reference to 10 Rules for Students and Teachers by John Cage. I will upload the manifesto also into our drive, so you have the reference of the name. There are very nice advices in there. And then number 6, it says, think visual, okay? So if you have an idea, if you have a message that you want to share with your public, try to transfer this message into a visual way. Allow yourself to wander around while producing images, and then you can have criticism. But before you do produce, you need to test yourself with, I have a camera in my hand, I have a video camera in my hands, I'm just taking pictures, I'm shooting videos. What about the results is going to come later. And then number 7, it says, make mistakes. Mistakes are good. Mistakes can produce crazy, interesting visual results. In general, it is very useful to be aware where not to go in life or within your creative production. In a technical perspective, a mistake could be, oh, I have produced like a blurry image, or maybe the subject is too far or too close. But anyways, these so-called mistakes, they can be very useful maybe to enrich your visual production. And then the idea is to co-create. So you are going to work in groups. You are going to include many different minds, many different ideas, but this is actually the enriching part of the process. So co-creation tastes delicious. There is nothing more satisfying than to melt your really good idea with someone else's really good idea and to create something amazing together, okay? So this is kind of very common in the creative process. You have an idea and you kind of, you fell in love with this idea, and it is not sometimes easy to let this idea go, okay? And then research a lot everywhere. So this means that you can walk around in the streets, you can look at television, you can look at movies, you can go on different kind of media, different kind of social media, for example. So research a lot. And then the human family is vast and diverse. So please be respectful. So of course, be respectful of your team and everyone that you are going to be including in your projects. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to reshare my screen again, and this time I'm going to present you something a bit more practical and technical, okay? So what about the roles of the cinema, the roles that are required in order to produce a video production? Of course, there is the director, who is a professional figure who directs a technical artistic team. And this is, like the main sentence of all this text, okay? There are so many things that needs to be decided in order to produce a video, okay? For example, you have authors, script writers, actors, set designers, costume designers, cameramen, audio and lighting technicians, okay? And so many others. So the director, the profession of the director is the one that has the idea, or he is able or she is able to have a general overview of the idea and how this idea should be implemented. And normally the director is someone that has a nice way of interacting with all these kind of people, okay? So different persons, but also different, professional aspects, okay? Then you have the director of photography, okay? So which is the person that actually decides in order to convey a specific message, generally speaking into a video production, but also scene after scene, what is the message and how am I translating this message in terms of framing? Am I going very, very close? Am I staying far away from the subject? What kind of colors am I using? And so on. I think we said this previously. You discussed with Andrea about the theory of color and the symbols of color. So also the director of photography is the one that, for example, creates, the tone of a movie. For example, this is the color palette that is that was decided for a very famous film, which is A Space Odyssey, okay? And as you can see, for example, in this scene, these are the colors. And to have someone that thinks about which are the colors, should I include something green, for example, in here? And why is this green? What is the symbol behind it? It is very, very useful. Something that it is, sometimes done, well, quite often, all the time, is to create a mood board, okay? In the presentation that I will be uploading, you also will have some, suggestion on how to produce mood boards for your video. As soon as we will have more students present during our classes, basically after Christmas, we will start to use also these tools in order to contribute to the construction of, the general tone of your video. And then, of course, you have the video maker, which is the person that is responsible for the realization of the shot, all the shots, meaning all the images of the audiovisual production. So the actual person, being a man or a woman, that is going to have the camera in their hands, okay? And of course, this can be one person or two persons or three persons shooting for the same scene or shooting for different scenes, okay? And in here, you have, like a little, image about Wim Wenders on a set. So he's the director, but also sometimes he used to be the video maker. So he's the man that stands behind the camera. And also I placed this image. This is like from a movie called Somewhere from Sofia Coppola. And the scene is quite clarifying because you can see you have the actors in here, but you also have the video maker. You have someone that is collecting the light to understand if the camera is properly set. But also you have all other kind of people that they are checking what is happening on the camera. There is someone with an open book that is checking if the scenes are provided properly by the authors, if the dialogues are okay, and so on. So this picture is telling us that a video production is the results of a collaboration among so many different people that need to work together. And then there is the video editor. We are going to enter into, like a video editing program, okay? That is going to, tell us in a practical way what about all these, speculations that we are doing. But basically, the video editor is into a digital software that combines images and sound. Okay. And in order to produce a video, it's a little bit like producing a collage. Digitally speaking, you can cut all the images, you can cut all the songs or all the dialogues, and by combining all those two, you result with the video production. And then you have the screenwriter. The screenwriter also, it is a very important role. All these roles are definitely crucial, okay? There is no one role that is more important than the other, okay? And the screenwriter, he's whoever covers the art of storytelling, okay? So how I'm going to tell the story of my project? How is there a narrative there, okay? And this is a screenwriting example. For example, I mean, this is like a screenwriting scan. This is like more like a fictional document. This is like more like a fictional project in which you are described with what kind of visual introduction you have to the scene. You have a description of the scene itself, how the scene is called, if there is a dialogue into the scenes, if there is like, I mean, what about the characters? What about the characters? What about, you know, the dialogues? With which kind of type of tone is the actor talking? So this is the document in which basically all the informations are included, okay, in order to produce a video. And then you have someone, this is more like at a, you know, professional level and, you know, like in a filmic level, movie level, you have the production management. So it's a department that manages activity related to television, productions and cinema, theater, or major events. And it follows all the production phases, defining work plans and coordinating the team of human resources involved in the production process. So basically, it's more like the person that is organizing everything, that implements everything. Okay. And then, of course, later on, you have the actors and the actresses, okay? So the ones that are actually in front of the camera. And this can be, you know, fictional, so actually actors that are embodying a specific role, or maybe the persons that are interviewed, and so on and so on. And here you have just the scenes of two actors playing for a movie. And then you have the assistant director, but consider that each of these professional figures, they can have assistants in order to support the work. Do you have any questions? Yeah. Okay, do you have any other questions? Or comments or doubts? Okay, maybe not. Okay, of course, if any question pops up into your mind, you can also write on the chat, and you know, it's fine. I will be happy to answer to that. Okay, I think that now you are ready to have a look to another type of content. That I have here. And it is called the storyboard. I'm going to share my screen. And also I will present to you this document on the drive, and please consider that there are so many different online resources that you can use, like softwares that you can use for free in order to produce also digital storyboards. Okay, so what about the storyboard? The storyboard is one of the main tools that is very, very useful for the production of a video. It is not the first tool that you use. Let's say that, let me introduce it with some sticky notes. Let's say that you have an idea, okay? And this idea is, again, I will not, you know, repeat that enough. This idea is related to the message. And to the public that you want to attract, to the persons that you are talking to, okay? And then from this idea, so I wanted to talk about, you know, a specific subject, a specific matter. Then you write a first document. Actually, the idea that is also can be defined as a concept. Let's write it. You have the concept, and from the concept, you start to write an actual text that is the subject. There is a story of a girl who is navigating her life, and she's meeting a boy that comes in and out from her life. For example, I am referring to her Morning Elegance video that I just showed you, okay? And the subject, it is much more textual, so it starts to be like a story, okay? But it still has to be very brief. It doesn't have to be like a massive long text, okay? It is like a very, very short text, which is called the subject, okay? And from this, which can be, you know, like represented with just a sentence, a couple of sentences, like just like a, you know, like a catchy phrases, a catchy sentence that identifies everything that you want to be placed into your project, okay? And then from the subject, you have a more textual approach in which you actually write your idea. Okay. And from this idea, you have the screenplay, which is the document with the most detailed degree of information, okay? And it is the one that we were seeing before. Let me show to you this again. Here. Okay. This is it, the screenplay, okay? The document with all the details, the technical ones, the creative ones, the dialogue ones, the audio ones, and so on, okay? I'm jumping a bit from one element to the other. So you have the screenplay, okay? Here, let's say text, longer text. Okay, once you have the screenplay, you already have divided your idea, your longer text, in different sections, in different sequences. For example, the first set of images are going to be showing shooting from a mountain. And then from a mountain, the main character, for example, is taking the train. So later on, there are some images, some scenes that are shot in the train, okay? And then from the train, my main character, for example, she goes to a bar. and she enters into the bar. So another section would be another set of scenes will be shot into a bar, okay? And this is when all these elements are clarified by the screenplay, okay? I am ready to work at the storyboard, okay? The storyboard is like a document, okay? It's a piece of paper, but also it can be implemented digitally, which says, this is the scene of the mountain, or this is the scene of the train, or this is the scene of the bar, okay? So the different locations, let's say, in which a video is shot. And then you have, for each single framing, from each single image that you are going to produce, you have like a structure. So this document is really of help in order to decide where to go, which framing you want to produce around your character, and so on. So for example, in here, you draw the mountain. Let me change the thickness. Can you see? It's green, it's not massively seeable. Let's go blue. Maybe blue it's better. Yes. Okay, let me erase all these. So I'm working as examples, yeah? So I'm saying, okay, I'm going to show the mountain from very far away. And then the camera is moving and I'm going to the actual place in which I want to shoot, okay? So all of a sudden, then I'm showing the trees, okay? And then what I want to do is that between those trees, a person is coming up, and this person is seen from very far away, okay? And then I'm getting closer to this person. I'm closer. I'm sketching, it's a bit funny with my trackpad. And so on, okay? Just to make sure that it's clear that this is a person. And this person is happy because he's smiling, okay?
Yeah, very nice picture.
Thank you. I am very skilled at this moment. Okay, so this is just to also to tell you that, of course, if you are an illustrator, or if, for example, this would be a storyboard for an animated movie, the sketches would be like super cool, super nice. If you see a Disney movie or a Pixar movie storyboarding session, you can see that they are just amazing. But also sketches are fine, or maybe you can work with images found online, okay? But what it is particularly useful for this document is just like it is a very much technical document in which, for example, the video maker, the one that has the camera, knows how to move and what it is happening scene after scene, actually. Scene after scene. This is always, for example, this is scene 1, okay? This could be already scene 2, because yes, we are still in the mountain, but the location is different. And now we are under the trees, okay? So visually speaking, there is the description of what is happening. And also there is a textual description of what it is happening in terms of, the camera is moving very quickly, or the camera is just going slowly, 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 slowly from very far away to very close to the detail of the trees. Or it is snowy that day. This shot needs to be taken when it is actually snowing, or maybe this character needs to be represented in the story when it is sunny. So all the details are described in here. And of course, also you have a section in which you describe what about the dialogues? Is there, or the sound, So as you can see, there is like visuals, details, and sounds, okay? And in terms of sound, you can have like soundtrack, so maybe just the music, okay? But maybe in here, so this could be like music, music, music. Music, music, music. And what about this music? Is it slow? Is a specific song, and so on? And maybe from this moment on, from this shot, that in this case would be 1, let's write it down. Shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, shot 4. And maybe I am deciding that in shot 5, okay, there is the sound, but maybe on like a lower volume. And then there is the dialogue. People is talking, and actually the character is saying, hello, my name is. Or whatever he could say, okay? So it is like a very practical document, okay? That helps all the people, the professional figures that I just very quickly present to you before. They know what it is happening that day, okay? So that shooting day, we are caring for scene 1. And so we do know that we need to go to the mountain. And if I need to go to the mountain, the actors will need to prepare accordingly, okay? The filmmaker, the video maker would have to have this type of lens to be able to provide this image, let's say, or maybe if I need to have close-ups, I need also to bring the macro, okay? So it's a very technical document, okay? But also the person that is involved into the sound. So what kind of microphone do I have to bring along? If we are just shooting shot 1 and shot 2, maybe I just need an ambient microphone, okay? A good enough microphone that would be able to detect the sounds of the mountain. While, for example, he or she would know that for shot 5, they would need like a smaller microphone, okay, to be placed near to the main character that is talking, or maybe the ones that you hold like that outside of the framing. So the storyboarding, it is actually like a great practice, because from something that is very general, I have an idea, I have a message, and I have a public, which conveys to a concept. This concept allows me to have like a very quick description of the subject that I'm going to, push visually. And then I have my longer text that, maybe could be like more like a child book story. Once upon a time, there was a mountain, and this mountain was covered up with trees. And in these trees, there is a man that lives. And then what happens to the man, okay? This could be, the longer text, okay? Which is called the synopsis in professional language, okay? And then you have the screenplay, which is the written description of each scene, okay? Regarding, again, everything, visuals, actions, dialogues, and sounds, okay? And then you have the visual translation of the screenplay into the storyboard, which is again a more specific object, at a very technical, a very practical ones that each person that is involved in that day, they can have it on their hands and they can know how to get prepared, what they do need, whether they are actors, directors, movie maker, audio professionals, and so on. Okay, so this this tool, it is quite useful for you, for us, for everyone to get organized, okay, and to have a clear idea on how to proceed, what to do in this specific day and why. And then, of course, once you produce, for example, scene 1 and scene 2, it is always easy, if you need to adjust, to go back and see, I am not really happy with scene 1 and shot 2. Maybe I'm not happy. I need to go back. But then I would go back specifically just to that. Okay? Is it clear enough?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. This is
Yes,
good.
yes.
But please, if you need more explanation, just ask, okay? Just say, Bianca, I am not understanding. Can you rephrase or something? Or if you get curious about it, please. Did you want to say something? You are muted. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, like what I was saying is that I want to ask is that you talk about director, editor, I don't know, cinematographer, but you didn't talk something about sound engineer.
Sorry, I
know the
cannot
difference
hear
between,
you fine. I cannot hear you fine.
I
Can
want
you?
to know, I want to know the difference between a sound engineer and music sounds. Like in dialogue, when you talk
Yes.
of sound, I mean when people are talking. Then, but when it comes